If you are thinking about purchasing real estate, you've probably visited Zillow. And if you've looked at any listing on Zillow, I'm sure that you've noticed the Tour This Home button on the bottom of the screen. I am here to kind of debunk what that looks like and also unpack a recent lawsuit that Zillow has faced for you. Here's the truth, and the bottom line is that clicking that Tour This Home button doesn't connect you with the listing agent or even an agent who is reputable or experienced. It simply connects you to an agent who is paying Zillow for leads. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah Schultz. I am a realtor in the Northern Nevada market, serving Reno, Sparks, and all of the surrounding areas. And on today's video, I'm going to be talking about the big bad real estate behemoth known as Zillow. Zillow's faced quite a bit of scrutiny lately, but you know what? So has the real estate industry in general. Apparently, we're all terrible. We're all like used car salesmen who are just greedy, terrible people. We're not all like that, but some agents are better than others, some are more experienced than others, and some offer niche skill sets better than others. And that's just the reality of having an open market like any other industry. So I'm going to get into that today. Don't you go anywhere. Back in the third week of September, it was announced that Zillow is being sued because when buyers click that button that says Tour This Home, they're routed to a Zillow affiliated agent who pays Zillow a hefty referral fee. Consumers are not told this up front, and sellers are still paying full compensation. In theory, actually, since this whole NAR settlement, which I've made videos about this, you guys can probably go ahead and do some research on your own. But essentially, there was a lawsuit back in August of 2024 wherein we were kind of held to the fire because of agent compensation. We're not allowed to say commission anymore. That's a dirty word now, but it's compensation. I'm not going to get into all of that. That was like a huge topic in the industry, and it still is. Basically, if you're going to go see a home with a buyer's agent now, you have to sign an agreement with that agent. No longer can anyone just open a door for you. There's no more real estate situationships, if you will. We have to be in a committed long-term relationship. Well, a defined term relationship, I should say. And not only that, but it needs to be very clear to the consumer where all compensation is coming from, whether it's coming from the seller, the buyer, or both. That is kind of like layman's terms of what has happened and what is happening in our industry. However, this is kind of taking it a step further and attacking Zillow because of this Tour This Home button. So let's unpack this a little bit. Here's why this may matter to you if you are thinking about buying or actively shopping for homes. Obviously, we all look at Zillow. I look at Zillow too, and I have MLS access, but sometimes on the fly, Zillow just loads faster. It's easier than logging in and typing in things. It's just like you click the address, right? Like I get it. It's very handy. It's done very well and makes it very user friendly, even for agents. And I hate admitting that, but it's true. The reason why this matters is because buyers think when they click that button that they're actually talking to the listing agent, which means the agent who's representing the seller of that address of interest. But that's not what's happening at all. Essentially, when you click that button, you're actually getting paired with whichever agent is paying Zillow. A pretty penny, I might add, and I will get into that, but it's not the agent that is best suited for you. Now, recently, I was very curious about the whole Zillow leads situation. I would never go down that road. I was on a team previously years ago when, I was kind of getting started and didn't really know any better, but we were working Zillow leads, and it totally is a different ballgame, you guys. You're literally cold calling, meeting strangers at a door and hoping that they like you, which is like so not the vibe. I'd so much rather make sure that vet each other, make sure we're a good fit, make sure that my skill set matches your needs, etc. I wanted to get a quick update on what the Zillow lead partner program looks like. And so I actually had a call with a representative from Zillow the day before yesterday, and we kind of went over all of it. And basically how it works is there's Zillow Flex, which is only offered to these big mega teams. And basically instead of paying them a monthly fee up front to get leads, these are more of like a referral fee based. So they're given leads, but you have to have a certain amount of sales volume to even qualify. So it's really only agents who are on like these big mega teams where there's like 100+ agents on the team. Those agents are given Zillow leads and they have to keep their production and sales volume up. Otherwise, they're kind of cut off from the program. But essentially, these agents are given leads And when the deal closes, they have to pay Zillow a 40%, sometimes higher, depending on price range, referral fee of that compensation. So there's one model is the Zillow Flex. Now they also have the Zillow Premier Agent, which is an offering that they currently have, though I was told this is probably going to go away and everything's going to become Zillow Flex. But the Zillow Premier Agent program, wherein agents can actually pay Zillow a monthly fee. It's by zip code, and you can basically buy market share of specific zip codes, and they break it all down for you. But I'll give you a really good example. I was looking at zip code 89509, which is a very, very desirable area of Reno because it's central. It's right in the middle of everything. It's beautiful historic homes, mature trees, walkability, blah, 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 all the things that make it great. And we were kind of looking at this zip code, and for me to have 33%, or I can't remember the exact percentage, they wanted like $2,700 per month for 3 potential leads. Now, these aren't even like 3 closings, right? I mean, to be fair, Zillow leads are usually pretty easy to convert. They are high quality leads. You're not just like cold calling a stranger. You're actually connecting with people that say they want to transact within 3 to 6 months. So like more often than not, if you're a decent agent, it probably does work out for you. However, $2,700 on a maybe a month just sounds crazy. And that wasn't even like top dog in that neighborhood or that zip code. So just to kind of give you an idea of like how the Zillow game works, I feel like as a buyer, you should know that when you click that button, you're not talking to somebody who's like this seasoned pro that's like earned merit on Zillow for being a great agent, or even like for sales volume. It's literally they're paying Zillow to have this visibility and to be connected to you when you click that button. Ultimately, a home purchase is one of the biggest decisions, financial or otherwise, that you will ever make in your life. And I just feel like you should be informed and have a choice of who you're working with. If I were you, if I were looking to buy, I would not be just clicking the Zillow button, as tempting and convenient as it may be. And also, just so you know, since this NAR settlement, no longer can you just have one agent open the door for you and then go work with another agent, because in order to open that door, the agent is going to have you sign an agreement that says they are the procuring cause of that compensation. So if you buy that home, that agent is going to be owed a compensation for opening the door. So that really, I think the NAR settlement is probably a big driver of this conversation and this lawsuit with Zillow. But just so you know, I think a lot of people used to think like realtors were disposable. And I mean, people still think that, unfortunately. You know, I'll just get this person to open the door and then I'm going to call my family realtor to actually do the transaction for me. You can't do that anymore, you guys. So you want to be really selective about who you are meeting at that door and what you are signing and with whom. There is a better way than just clicking a button and ending up meeting a stranger. You don't know their experience. You don't know what their skill set is. Your outcome in a transaction could be drastically different between agents. It could be a matter of tens of thousands of dollars difference or different terms if you don't get paired with somebody who is, you know, the right fit for you, your situation, who isn't a strong negotiator, etc. And frankly, if somebody's paying for Zillow leads, I mean, I don't know, are they really like the best marketing professional? Are they really great at articulating their proposition? I don't know. I mean, you guys tell me. I think that's probably not the best way to advertise yourself, is to be paired by a stranger and pay lots of money. But I digress. Zillow is an amazing browsing tool. It has changed the role of real estate professionals, and there's no denying that. It used to be that if you wanted to know what homes were available, you'd have to call a realtor and ask them to comb through the MLS for you and curate a list of homes. And we can still do that. I still do that when I have a buyer coming to town that wants to see homes in different areas. I'll curate a whole day to make sure that like we're really seeing all the options and they get a sense of one zip code versus another. However, you guys have the tools in your hands. So our role now really has a lot less to do with finding the property and a lot more to do with knowing the area, if we're talking about the search part, but also everything that comes after. Once you're in contract, it's all about negotiating terms, timelines, financials, all of that. That is where a good agent is going to thrive. And so you want to be really specific about who you work with. Do not hand over your information blindly. Do not hand over a binding agreement that you're going to work with a stranger without vetting them. That's just not a smart move on your part. All right, I just don't want to go off the rails too badly. Just because an agent is someone that you meet on Zillow doesn't mean that they're a bad agent, but you want to ask some qualifying questions. You should reference the video that I made about a month or two ago. You guys can scroll back and find, but the video unpacked all the questions you should be asking your agent before you hire them. You're going to want to review that video, and you can go through those questions with a Zillow agent. They should be able to answer them just like anybody else. And you're going to want to make sure that you're comfortable with those responses before you sign anything. But I didn't want to scare you into thinking just because they're on Zillow, they're not a good agent. That's not true either. But my point is, you want to be a little bit more discerning. All right, that was a lot. If you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out. Or if you have any questions about our market or relocating here or the real estate process in general, I would love to be of service to you. You can book a free call using the link in the description box below. It's no obligation, just a chance for us to connect, see if we might be a good fit to work together, and at the very least, put together your next and best steps. If you haven't already, please hit that like and that subscribe button. I put out new videos each and every week about the Northern Nevada lifestyle, the Reno Sparks housing market, and of course, all things to do with buying and selling real estate. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.